So some good news for once for young Philly. Now he has been granted permission to return to the UK for Christmas while awaiting the trial in Australia. The 30-year-old faces multiple charges, including rape, sexual assault and assault stemming from an alleged incident in a Perth hotel room last year. He appeared at court today where a judge approved the changes to his bail condition, allowing him to leave the country. He must return to Western Australia by January 7th, 2026 and surrender his passport the following day. His trial is scheduled for July 2026. He will still have around 7 months waiting in Australia when he returns. Now, the Australian authorities here have to have a little bit of leeway because they've already kept him in the country for a year waiting to go to trial. And by the time he finishes his trial next year, he'd have been there 2 years without seeing any of his family in the UK. It could go either way in the trial, where young Philly could be found innocent and they would have a lot of making up to do if they did not let him to return to the UK at all. So we'll still see what happens with this. It's a pending situation. His bail conditions probably will mean that he still cannot speak with us in the UK. He'll just have a low profile and most likely spend time with his family. Now, HS TikToky on his stream actually responded to the last update we gave on this situation. He said he didn't even know about the Magaluf case. It was all in the media, but there is confusion around it. So we'll clarify after what is going on with that situation. So there's been a little update in the young Philly situation. He wants to return to the UK. He's put in his application basically saying...
Has he been locked up or has he been on bail?
Woman has accused him over there. So for the next year, young
Philly... He's been accused in Magaluf as well. Wait, it weren't just Australia. Fiddler, what are you doing, bro? Bad enough fiddling in Australia. You've been fiddling in Magaluf as well. Probably with a fresh 18. That's mental. When did that happen? I didn't hear about that. Fiddler, you've been getting too busy, bled. What you doing, bro? Bro, if Fiddler didn't fiddle, the fact that he's been, you know, locked up, or not locked up, but on bail now in Australia for a year, probably like fallen off a significant amount, it's peak. It is peak.
In Australia, young Philly was reported and he was charged. What the articles are basically saying here, in terms of the Spain Magaluf situation, it's slightly different, is that young Philly was reported and he has not been charged yet. So even young Philly himself may have first heard about this in the papers. It was just a report that has happened. In this part of Spain, they keep things behind closed doors, which is the right way to do things. You don't want to slander people straight away. But this essentially has been leaked to the media through someone that young Philly has been reported over here. Now, like I'm saying, if you report someone to the police, they do their investigations and they do not notify the person that's been reported straight away until they're essentially charged for that offense. So like I said, people on young Philly's side of things or whoever may not know that this has happened until they've seen it in the media that he's been reported. Now, it's up to the police to decide whether they got enough evidence, but in them articles they were also saying two things. One is that it was last summer and then straight away he's got arrested in Australia, so that is delayed things on their decision. And also their Spanish authorities actually do things the correct way, and I actually agree with this. Over there they do things behind closed doors. That's why I said the corruption lies, because this has been leaked to the media by someone and obviously deemed to be a credible source by Daily Mail or Metro, that there was a report made about young Philly. They've heard about the Australian situation and they've gone to the media, maybe been paid some money behind closed doors, and they've said that he's been reported over here, and obviously the police are considering it. Now, even young Philly himself, if he come out and say he does not know what is going on, it's because he has not been charged for that offense. And it may come out that we hear nothing else from the Magaluf situation because they're meant to deal with this behind closed doors. You'll only hear about this again in the future if they decide to charge him after this Australian situation. So yeah, it's important to clarify right now, it's a different situation. Young Philly's not been charged over in Spain yet. They haven't had the chance to even do that. There's not been enough time, and there is numerous sexual offense cases, unfortunately, that happen in Magaluf. So again, when women go to the police, things take a while to investigate. The main thing is here that the media are saying, the Metro and Daily Mail, is that they've essentially not decided if they've got enough evidence to charge him, and it's been leaked to the media. And that's where the corruption in this lies, because it has put slander on his name. It has made people look differently at it because it's another woman reporting him in another country, is what was said in the article. But there is a chance that young Philly gets charged for this, and there's a chance also that we never hear about this again other than this article that come out that was leaked, because everything behind there, like I've said numerous times, is meant to be behind closed doors. That is only the point of where corruption lies here. But obviously Daily Mail and Metro have got things wrong in the past, like Bouncer Seb. Obviously it has been a leak that they deem credible.
YouTuber and rapper Young Philly has been accused of raping a tourist in Magaluf. The 29-year-old, whose real name is Andrew Felipe Valencia Barrientos, is being investigated by a judge in Palma over the alleged hotel attack, which is said to have happened last summer. It comes after the influencer pleaded not guilty to a string of sex attack charges in the Australian city of Perth earlier this month. Now it's emerged a British tourist has accused young Philly of forcing himself on her at a holiday resort in Magaluf, who later reported the online star to UK police after she returned home from her holiday. Young Philly was arrested in Brisbane and extradited to Perth last October and is scheduled to return to court in June to face a string of sexual assault charges. The investigation in Palma is now underway, and sources have claimed the magistrate in charge of the Spanish case has contacted authorities in Australia through formal channels so they can try to question Barrientos under oath on behalf of the Spanish authorities.
Now, always we remain impartial, right? Australia have heard that a woman over there has been sexually assaulted. They've acted fast. Not only has the woman filed her report and got it all done, they've decided to charge him. Obviously, they've delayed things and it has taken a horrible amount of time, if he is innocent, delaying his life right now. But they've acted on this really quickly. In Spain, obviously, a few months have passed and already he's been arrested in Australia. From seeing in my research, they actually do sometimes take a very long time in Spain to decide to prosecute someone. So it's still a little bit of a thing looming in the air. But right now, it's not something young Philly's going to have to directly deal with. But like I said in my last video, if they do decide to charge young Philly once this Australian case is over, then he will have more legal situations to deal with. So we'll see. We may never hear about that Magaluf situation again. It might just stay behind closed doors and they realize they ain't got enough evidence, but it could also come back up once again. And we'll keep you notified as always on this page. Apparently, the police that would possibly be investigating that young Philly situation in Magaluf, if it does exist and the report is there, apparently the Spanish authorities try their hardest to keep things behind closed doors, but often it's people that are well known that have the situation leaked. Just a report right now. Anyone can be reported for anything. And the point I was getting across is that even if he was charged for this offense, then he might not have still done it. He would then have to go over to that country and fight their legal system. He could still be innocent for both in this situation, but my point I was making, it could take years out of his life to fight these cases if he's charged for this one that has been put out now on the tabloid. A similar sort of thing happened to Andrew Tate in the UK, where things were looming in the tabloids, and all of a sudden, a year or so later, it has come out that he's getting extradited back to the UK to face these charges. This situation with young Philly has become a little bit more complicated with different legal systems involved because of all the different countries. He's from the UK, the Australian one, the Spanish one, and there's all different systems in place for each of them countries. All the cases we cover right to the end. The Noel Clarke thing, we spoke about how they tried to ruin his career. The Benjamin Mendy, we made a long documentary about that and how he was innocent, and the same will happen if young Philly is found innocent as well. And it's always the process that is the punishment. That is my main point. We might not hear about the Magaluf thing for 2 years. That in itself is punishment before the person is found guilty or not guilty. This has had a major impact on his life, and if it comes out at the end of all of this that it was made up accusations against him, there will be a massive lawsuit that young Philly will be doing against the Australian authorities just because of how much it's ruined his brand and how much money he's lost out by spending that year and another year in these legal situations.